We have been dealing with relationships. We've been dealing with relationships. And the devil finds ways to mash up your relationship, to hinder us from having relationship. One of the things the devil does is to institute social media as a means of communication rather than doing everything possible to break us up. We don't have to communicate in terms of relationship. We only have to contact. And it's not surprising that we see in the home mother communicating with daughter by text. Look, friends, there are many ways that we have to consider these days. Social media is many. I am told that you can communicate by text, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Skype, and Tuma. You don't have to say, good morning, text me. You don't have to say, how are you, text. But we have just heard a while ago, Jesus has the power to break the chain that is hindering, that is obstructing communication. So many people sit in church and they don't communicate with one another. My friends, as we have been saying, we need to maintain our relationship with God and man. This morning, God's message is pitfalls which Christian leaders should be aware. Pitfalls of which Christian leaders should be aware. You know, it's interesting that we talked about the woman patients. Men, you remember what I said about the men? You remember what the message about the men? Complacency. Patience, men. Women. Complacency, men. Today I'm going to deal with men and women. And we are dealing with leaders. Leaders. Hands up, all those who are leaders. Hands up those who are leaders. Very interesting. You're not a leader. Hands up those who are parents. You are leaders. Hands up those who have any little group and you're leading that group. Every one of us, if you check it, may be a leader. Every one of us. And so when we talk about leaders, don't think about just the church. God's primary objective for human being on earth is to share with one another the abundant living. God's purpose, main purpose for us on earth, is that we share abundant living. John said, John 10:10, I am come that you may have life, that you may have it more abundantly. Selfish living does not meet the standards of Christ. Selfish living does not meet the standards of Christ. It keeps individual poor and unhappy. Selfish living keeps us poor and unhappy. Group living requires leaders whose objective is to unite and encourage others to recognize and use their calling toward a positive and peaceful living. Objective of us as Christians is to unite and encourage others. The objective of Jesus Christ for you today is that you fall in the line of uniting and encouraging others to recognize their calling toward a positive Christian living. Abundant living is a positive Christian living. Think about it. Jesus said, I'm come to give you abundant living. And we have said, and God has revealed to us, abundant living is group living. Do you realize that you were born in a group? And you grow in a group? You can never ever be, you can't consider yourself without considering group. You notice that a man does not just comes within a group and lives and stays within a group. And the chain that is holding man is selfish living, independence, rather than advancing groupness. My friends, groupness requires leaders. Groupness requires leaders whose objective is to unite. Regardless of the nature or size of the group, whether the family, political, church, or any other group, leaders are chosen to follow the moral and spiritual codes laid down in the scriptures for us. We advance and we live in groups. And leaders are the ones to coordinate those groups toward the fulfillment of God's will for your life. So leaders, tremendous opportunity we have. Tremendous calling that we have. And I'm addressing you today. Regardless of what it is, you may be a leader. Remember, I just pointed out a while ago, the parents didn't know they were leaders. Hence, I present for your consideration today these principles and practices which have guided my leadership over the years. Parents, teachers, administrators, or pastors of any group, we're encouraged to listen and apply these proven examples of effective relationship. In other words, I am almost addressing you as I think about 50 years of ministry. It comes out of my experience. And 50 years married and living happily. We have never ever had a big quarrel that keep us all night back to back. We have had problems. But I have had problems. But the one who does not keep malice good, the one who does not like malice, breaks the malice, find a way to break it. But if you not like malice, all you have to do is keep a face. That's it. But my friends, like I addressed you earlier, it's important to maintain relationship, because the person with whom you had that relationship may leave you suddenly. So maintain the relationship. Number one, I'm giving you these principles and practices which I have used over the years, which God has revealed to me, and I pass them on to you. Number one, as a Christian, my growing awareness, hence the objective which drives my leadership over the years, is summarized in 1 Corinthians 12 to 13. Let's read it. Let's read it. Let's read it together, friends. For as the body is one and has many members, but all the members that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Christ. For by one Spirit we all are baptized in one body, whether Jews or Greeks, whether slaves or free, and have been made to drink of one Spirit. My objective over the years, my commitment over the years, to do everything possible to build up the body of Jesus Christ, and to recognize that we are made to the body, in the body, and by the body. And we must do all we can to strive to maintain the relationship of the body. The ways you can do it, number one, as a leader, as one who is called by God, whether as a parent, to be parents, or to lead any group. A Christian leader, listen. Leaders, well, the topic of the first point is be quick to hear and slow to speak. Leaders, be quick to hear and slow to speak. If you desire to lead in your home or whatever, be quick to hear and slow to speak. Leaders must be careful how they receive and deal with negative information reported to them by fellow members, especially children. Let me read it again. You want me to read it again? Leaders must be careful how they receive and deal with negative information reported to them by fellow members, especially children. Let's turn to Genesis chapter 37 and verse 2. Let's read it. This is the history of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years a child, was feeding his brothers. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph, and here's what I want to say. Here's what I am saying. And Joseph brought a bad report of them to the father. The main thing I want to say this morning, Joseph brought a bad report of them to the father. Poor handling of especially evil information may cause hatred and division among members of any group. Poor handling of especially negative information may cause division among your family, disruption in the family. Joseph could be trying to protect the reputation and character of the family. He may have good intention. That's why he brought the message. He brought the information home. He told his people about what was going on. But the reaction of the parents requires patience and wisdom. You get the information. It's your turn. You have to receive it with wisdom. You have to receive it with positive intention. Because the way you handle it can cause disruption forever in the family. Sometimes our emotional reaction blocks our ability to get any future information which you could use toward helpful transaction in the family. Joseph may have had good intention, like I said, and the intention may have been good because it protects the family and provides the family with proper information. But when you got it, you were already worked up. Your emotion blocks future information. You understand what I'm saying, friends? You really understand what I'm saying? That is a handling of the information that you receive as a leader. Be careful of how you handle information. Over the 50 years that I have been pastor, you think I get any information from any member about a member? 50 years. Do you think I got any information about any member? Do you think that all that information was good? Do you think the information was necessarily bad? It's the way I handle my receipt of the information. And thank God, I've not done too bad. I have received from you. Yeah, of course. I am the one you should talk to, good or bad. But I must relax my emotion and draw out my intelligence to deal with the situation. Leaders, be careful of how you handle information you receive from your family or whatever, everybody. If you're a leader, be careful of how you handle information. Number 2, avoid favoritism. Leaders must avoid favoritism. Leaders, especially parents and administrators, must be careful how they express their feeling and issue rewards in the group. Be careful how you express your feeling and issue rewards in and to the group. Let's turn to Genesis 37, now 3 and 4. Now, Israel loved Joseph more than his children because he was the son of his old age. Also, he made a coat, a nice big coat with many colors. 4. Next verse. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated Joseph and could not speak peaceably to him. Be careful. Be careful how you express. Be careful what you do to one member of the family. It is normal for leaders to favor one member above the other because of legitimate reasons, such as one may display more respect for you, for parents. They may display act of kindness. They may be more attentive, and other personal reasons. However, the way leaders express their reaction may show favoritism, which may result in ostracism, that is, withdrawal within the group. Many of you may be experiencing it and you don't know. If you have more than one child and one of them may withdraw, find out why. And they may never tell you. But they will withdraw. They withdraw. You're experiencing maybe withdrawal within your family. Check it out. It may be you cause it as parents. The way you express your feeling. The way you express your rewards to them. Parents, be careful of the words you speak or the actions you display concerning each of your children. Don't determine each one's destiny. Leave that to the wisdom and needs of God and the child. You don't determine each one's destiny and share it. It's not good. Oh, this one is going to be this. You're going to be you're going to be so and so and so, and you're not going to reach anywhere. Because of the disposition of the child. You don't know how to interpret the child's disposition. What you see is not necessarily what there is. The child is growing. The child is growing. And you have to be very careful. James 2 and verse 1. Let's read it. James 2 and verse 1. My brethren, do not